Welcome back! So far in this series, I've been showing you how to be selectively lazy in your speech. And the way I've done that is I've shown you some really strong spelling patterns containing a secret sound called the schwa vowel sound, which is a really lazy sound in English, hidden away in many different types of spellings. And I've been uncovering really common spelling patterns that contain this lazy sound in order for you to sound much more natural in your rhythm of speech. So here's a quick recap. Check out each phrase, which we've done so far in the series, and check out the highlighted parts of each phrase. Those highlighted parts should be really lazy and weak, and doing them nice and lazily should help your rhythm of speech sound much more natural and should help your clarity and your communication in English. So here's the list so far.
Connect completely. A useful but immoral label. Perhaps I forgot. I suppose it's a success. Open season. The husband's moment of action. A believable estimate.
Yeah, did you notice the lazy parts highlighted there? Would it surprise you that they all contain exactly the same vowel sound? So despite the change in spelling, like the O in connect, for example, versus, I don't know, the E at the end of open, it's the same sound. Different spelling, same sound. So there's much more explanation about all this in the first video, but we're going to jump straight into the next pattern, the next phrase. And the next phrase is an actor of leisure. Another familiar rumour. Yeah? An actor of leisure? Another familiar rumour. Yeah, that's the next one. So we're looking at words which end with, well, they all end with a schwa vowel sound, but they end with all these different spelling patterns. So words like actor, which have an OR at the end. There are more words like it. Tractor and factor. Yeah, more words like leisure. Yeah, we have loads of words like that, like seizure and closure, for example. More words like another. The ER is a really, really common schwa pattern. We have words like singer and father. Yeah, another, singer, father. More words like familiar. We have calendar and sugar, for example. And finally, rumour. There are more words like that too. This is all with the UK spelling, of course, but there's a schwa vowel sound in words like rumour, in words like colour, flavour, favour. All of the words I've given you end in exactly the same sound. Yes, a word like sugar ends in exactly the same way as a word like tractor. Yeah, sugar, tractor. It's the same schwa at the end. It might even influence you, the spelling might even influence you and make you think you're hearing me saying actor, at least in a subtle way, with a rounded lip shape, actor, and then another with an E sound. It might make you even hear it and perceive it differently, but trust me, if you just close your eyes and listen to the words, actor, calendar, doctor, they all end with the same sound. It's a lazy schwa vowel sound, and if you're overpronouncing those parts of words, actor, another, and sugar, calendar, it's going to distract your listener because those parts of those words should be lazier. Yeah. So I will give you some sentences so you can really hear the rhythm of speech with this in a second. I guess it might be worth mentioning something else you're wondering about, which is the R consonant at the end of these words. Do you hear me pronouncing it? And you might be thinking, you're not doing what I do or what other speakers do. Well, I am what you would call a non-rhotic speaker, and there are many like me, but there are many not like me, and those speakers would be called rhotic speakers. So let's first talk about what a rhotic speaker does. They pronounce every written R consonant. Every written on the page is pronounced and spoken. That's what a rhotic accent is. I'm non-rhotic, so I would only pronounce an R consonant if it comes before a spoken vowel sound. Otherwise, I don't do it. I don't pronounce the R. So if you're looking at the endings of these words, they all end with the R consonant. Therefore, there's no spoken vowel coming after them because they're at the end. Therefore, me as a non-rhotic English speaker, I'm a standard Southern British English speaker, I don't pronounce those R consonants. The final sound I make in these words is a schwa. Yeah? So the actor of leisure, another familiar rumour, list, is a list of words which, in my accent, end with a schwa vowel sound. And in rhotic accents, they end with a schwa with an attached to it. Yeah, but most accents will have the schwa there. Now, here's a little tip for you. If you want to make sure you're mastering the schwa vowel sound without being misled by the spelling, if English is your second language and you find yourself unconsciously saying actor, yeah, and leisure, and overpronouncing those endings, it might be because of the influence of the spelling, and you've got that too ingrained as a habit because you've said that word so many times and you're saying doctor rather than doctor with a lazy sound. There are different ways to approach this. I do this with my coaching clients, and I've given you some more tips in previous videos in this series, but here's a tip for you today. If you say these words in my accent quite slowly, what you'll hear is this: actor, actor. Now if you listen to me say that final part, t, what does that really sound like? Just forget about the word actor for a second. T. What does it sound like? If I break down the word leisure, leisure. Listen to that. Je. What does that sound like? Well, to me, it sounds like if you, again, forget about the word leisure entirely and just hear the noises I'm making with my mouth, I can do the same thing with the other words. Yeah. So another familiar rumour, we've got the, y, m. It sounds like I'm just pronouncing a consonant sound and then releasing it with a slight vocalization, a slight lazy grunt after it, right? So it's like I'm almost teaching someone how to pronounce the consonant, right? How do you pronounce the T? Oh, like this, T. How do you pronounce the zh, the ZH consonant? Like this, zh. How do you pronounce the TH consonant? The. Yeah, I'm naturally articulating that consonant for you to show you how it sounds, and naturally I'm adding a schwa sound after it. That's the point, right? So what I'm saying is, if you want to get these really lazy, a good thing to do is to imagine, and this works for any word which ends with a schwa vowel sound. What is true for all those sorts of words is there will be a little helpful consonant right before that final schwa. Yeah, so schwa at the end, right before it, will always be a helpful little consonant. And just imagine all you need to do is just release that consonant into a lazy grunt, almost like you're teaching someone how to pronounce that consonant. How do you pronounce the M sound? I go m, yeah? So when I say room, that's all I need to do. No extra. Again, forget about the word and visualizing the word and the spelling of the word rumour in your head. Just think about the noises you're making with your mouth, the mouth movements. M, rumour. And that might help you to avoid any sort of instinctive, reflexive habit you might have to say another familiar rumour and overpronounce those parts of speech. You can do the same thing if you want to have a rhotic accent, like General American, for example, or you already are a rhotic speaker because of your first language and you don't mind keeping the at the end. Well, then a previous tip I've given you in a previous video is all about moving from one consonant to another consonant. So for actor, you would just need to move from the T to the straight away. So an actor, yeah, move directly from the T to the If you want to say another with an sound, it would sound like another, and there is a little schwa in between, but really if you just imagine yourself moving from the TH consonant directly to the there, with not really anything in between, then you're going to naturally make it quite lazy and hopefully avoid saying, you know, another and overpronouncing the E, or an actor and overpronouncing the O, which most native speakers of various accents of English don't do. So that's the kind of tip for if you are happy to keep the sound. But if you're a non-rhotic speaker or wish to be a non-rhotic speaker, like I am, or like in standard Southern British English, then this little tip of just simply releasing a consonant, an act of leisure, another familiar room, might be really helpful. So the bonus list I want to give you is a list of words which don't even have a written R in the spelling anyway. I call that list Data from India. So many words in English end with the letter A, a very lazy letter A at the end. So we don't tend to say data from India or data from India, at least not in standard Southern British English, not in General American, for example. For those accents, we use a schwa vowel sound for those sorts of words too. Now, if you want to find more words like data, you can see them on my website. The bonus list will be available there. But one thing to consider, at least for my accent, I would pronounce the word data and the word data the same. What words did I say? Data and data. Yeah, you can hear? I'm making them exactly the same. The way the words end is the same. The whole word is the same. Data and data. Why? Because in my accent, I don't pronounce the therefore I simply use a schwa in data, and I'm using a schwa at the end of data as well. Yeah, the same thing is true for tuna and tuna. Yeah, so I just say n at the end of both words. Yeah, tuna. It's exactly the same. So there are more words like India, loads of names of countries like Canada, or regions or countries or places that end with the letter A. Very often we simply use a schwa vowel sound at the end of those. India is an example. America, Canada, Indonesia will be loads of examples for you, and there's plenty more. If you want some more examples of today's list, of things that fit the pattern and the exceptions, I haven't even mentioned words like avatar yet. Avatar is very different to calendar. Yeah, you hear avatar is an exception. You can go to my website. The link below in the description will give you a resource with audio and with word examples, sentences and exceptions for this list and all the other ones we're doing in this series. Stay tuned for the next video because it's coming very, very soon with the next pattern. And finally, if you want some personal help or want to explore more, just go to accent.coach and I'll see you over there. See you very soon.